shit.
That's dope. So, episode 5. Ooh la la.
That's episode 5?
Yeah.
Shit, I lost count.
Boogie Beast episode 5. Welcome everybody to Boogie Beast podcast. Boogie Beast is the mind body fitness practice that uses the power of movement for the human ability to play and exercise. We focus on overall well-being as we believe true transformation begins by exercising your mind, then moving your body. Today we got a special guest. We got Chalottes up in the building. What's up?
Chalotte.
How you doing? How you doing?
Chalotte. I know she's shy now, so don't worry about that. That will flow throughout. That will flow throughout.
Chalottes is a very good friend of mine.
And if you don't know, check out Chalotte, man. She's very crazy when it comes to clothing. She's tell them you got the clothes, you got the whole Chalotte love. Very when you talk about love, this is it. So make sure you check it out on Instagram. Just making sure she's just a great person generally. So.
Thank you. She's all about that love.
She's all about that love, spreading positivity, and that's what it is. That's what we have her here today. So she's gonna be spreading some of those vibes with us, and we're just gonna flow with it. Just having a good time, having a nice conversation, open conversation.
True. We have a conversation. Tell us about yourself, man.
I always want to ask. I always want to find out where does the word Chalotte love comes from? Where you get that inspiration? It's such a big word, Chalotte love. Something we can all relate to. People can just share that. Chalotte love. It strikes something. So where do you get your inspiration from? Or what just basically? Where do you get it from?
Wait a second. Some people think love is your second name.
Some people think.
Oh yeah.
It's not.
Obviously, it's naturally like Charlotte's love. That's why everybody knows. Yeah. Is love your second name?
No, it's not. It's Francis. It's Charlotte Francis.
Charlotte Francis.
It's Charlotte Francis.
Now people know. So, where do you get the inspiration of love from? I mean, what made you pick that name?
By complete accident.
Oh.
Complete accident.
Wow.
It was meant to be first love for fashion, random, and Facebook wouldn't let me use anything else but my name. So I was like, I'll just put in Charlotte. And then, funny enough, I was like, right, what's my second name going to be? And I'm like, African parents call their kids love, faith, hope. And I'm like, feck it, let's just do love. And then it was Charlotte's Love.
Oh, nice.
That's mad, yeah. And then I went to change it.
Yeah.
Because obviously it started off to be a small little project.
Yeah.
And then I was like, do you know what, this is actually getting a bit successful. So I'm going to change it because Charlotte, using my name and all, I was like, nah.
That's mad.
And then so everyone was like, nah, don't change it, just keep Charlotte's Love. And I'm like, off the cuff 7 years ago, I'll just keep it. Okay, right, grand. And then, it's everywhere now.
And I think it really, the name itself is really great for you, because you are such a positive person.
Inspiration.
You always kind of, and I think that, for me anyways, I think love is the key to everything. You know what I mean?
I think that's why you have, because I noticed with your clothing brands, with the name Love and stuff, that's how you connect with people. You connect with so much people, kids, it doesn't matter where, and also you're a dancer as well, you know what I mean? So, so I see the connection there, with love and those, the clothes and the kids and people around, the energy, I don't know, maybe is it true then through the name you feel this kind of just put some kind of energy out there where it just brings this kind of energy back to you? Because if you get what I'm saying, because the name is such a powerful name, but I don't think you understand it, you know what I mean?
But I didn't understand it.
Yeah.
That's the thing, and it's only true, that's something Charlotte's Love taught me life. Do you get me? I didn't know what love was until this journey.
Nice.
Do you get me? Do you know what I mean? So it's something that I'm still learning about. It's a powerful force that was teaching me, that already existed before I connected with it. Do you get me? And so I learned so much from Charlotte's Love, and then I just then feed that out to other people. Do you know what I mean? I had not clue that I was going to do.
That's the thing though, a lot of
Charlotte's
stuff.
Love.
A lot of stuff we do is that we don't plan it, we don't have a clue what it is. We just kind of just do it, and it just kind of just project this energy out to the world, and you just get some sort of, you know, like I said, what you give is what you get. So you know, whatever you put out there, that's what you just get back. So I think the name just speaks for itself.
Yeah. No, it's powerful. It's powerful.
You know
It is powerful.
So,
yeah, no, it is powerful.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know Chocolate Love now, man. Tell you, man, check it out.
Check out Chalottes Love on Instagram,
Yeah,
Facebook.
man.
I think your Facebook is Chalottes Francis.
No, there is Chalottes Love. Yeah,
Facebook.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But to be honest with you, like, I started Chalottes Love on social media, and I just want to take it off social media. Do you know what I mean? And it built up. It was a powerful platform. Like, I think when I started dancing, I did not use social media. It wasn't even like a thing. So I created this whole company, this whole brand of dance, like with Fresh and Funky or whatever, with no social media. And then I created a whole company solely through social media. And now I'm like, get off social media, because it put me in this box, connected me to beautiful people, and build a really nice vibe and energy. Do you know what I mean, with everybody?
That's interesting.
But it's.
So I also noticed, like, you a person, like, you went really out in the social media, like you said, kind of like box yourself in social media, you know. Now you're slowly coming out of that box, or should I say, or you're just making that transition. Is this like some sort of growth in your life, or just something you're starting to feel comfortable? Because you never really, because when we go on Charlotte Love, you know, we don't see you, we see Charlotte Love. We see the product we sell, we see the, you know, the positivity you spread. We never really get to know who Charlotte is, you know what I mean, the person behind it. So now people are starting to see that person, you know, because you were kind of like, you don't put yourself on the media, you know what I mean? Maybe just due to maybe whatever, maybe your own beliefs or personal thing, you know what I mean? It could be good, it could be bad, nobody knows, but what you were putting out there was positive anyway, and that's what we'll get. So now we're starting to see who Charlotte Love is. This strong lady, like this name out there in the world now. So what made you make a transition of actually putting yourself out now, feeling comfortable to be out on social media, people begin to see you as a person, you know? So is this a new transformation for you, kind of like? What made
Like I won't ever, like, what I understood, because obviously I didn't know what Chalottes Love was, so kind of took control of me. And social media was a huge new thing for me. But I think that I just had no interest in showing Charlotte Francis. I didn't, you know, it's only recent that I'm making the separation of the brand Chalottes Love and Charlotte Francis the person. But it was a complete growth and transformation within myself and my confidence, because for me, social media and having a camera in front of my face, I used to tell myself I was ugly. I had no confidence. I had none of that. Do you know what I mean? And it was only through, I suppose, partially BOOGIE BEAST, like that whole mind, body, field, that lifestyle. It just really like woke me up to, okay, right, and as well as just life in general. Do you know what I mean? But all of that brought me to, shall I speak well to yourself and exercise every day, move your mind, move your body, you know, and that I started like a long time ago, and the progression now I see and I feel it. Do you know what I mean? Like a complete different person. So now I'm maybe more confident in speaking, in sharing, in, you know, you won't ever see me face on Chalottes Love. That's just it. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know,
we knew Charlotte Love, but we didn't know Charlotte Francis.
But you see, that's what I just understood, because it's separate, and Charlotte Francis became Charlotte's Love. I actually didn't even know who I was, to be honest with you. And now it's like, okay, because I was a tennis coach first, then I was a dance teacher, then I was a fashion designer, which I never even went to college. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, and then I'm like a multi-talented. No, but you know, these were things. When I was a tennis coach, that's what I was. I was a tennis coach. When I thought dancing, I thought like that was a stage where I'm a dance teacher forever. Do you know what I mean? You know, and then this Charlotte's Love thing came, and I was like, what the hell is this? Like, you know. And then this lasted 7 years, and now I'm like, hold on a second, like there's so much more in life that you can be, you know. And then what is Charlotte Francis? Who is Charlotte Francis? No, I'm not. Charlotte Francis, like, is this tree. The tennis is a branch. Chalottes Love is a branch.
Branch.
The dancing was a branch, and they all connect. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, into this big freaking strong tree. Like, do you know what I mean? With roots, and
That's
the
deep,
roots
though.
are,
So,
you know.
That's
so
deep.
I know you have a thing with labels, and is that the reason why like you don't like to be labeled as a certain thing in particular? Do you know what I mean? Because I think that there's a lesson to be learned by that. Like you are a tree. We are all trees with different branches,
Yeah.
and then at any point in time we can move from one to the other. Do you know what I mean? And I think it's important as well, like for us not to put a label on ourselves, because we are more than what we do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Strongly believe in that.
In that sense, because like it just when you said that, like it's like yeah, it's obvious. You know what I mean? Like because you're a banker, it's like when someone asks you what's your name and what do you do. You know what I mean? Naturally we say, oh, my name is this, and I'm this.
That's it.
But you are more than you are a tree of many branches.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So
It's
like
crazy. That's actually crazy because I was watching a documentary. It was actually explaining about you as a person. You know, on BBC, like you said there. What's your name? My name is John Francis. That's who you identify yourself all your life. You know what I mean? But when you separate the conscious and subconscious together, consciously you are a child of love. You are just like the pawn. But when you now take the conscious and you deal with the subconscious mind, which is where you have to ask a lot of questions to yourself. Who am I? And this is where I feel a lot of us have to struggle with getting to know who you are, because I know I'm Paul. This is what my parents told me since I was born. That's why I've been, and I grew up. It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
But now, let me actually think about it. Really sit down with myself, take away that conscious stuff, and am I actually Paul? You know what I mean? No, just if you actually sit down, just really, it's a mad question when you ask people to do it. Oh man, it's crazy. But when you actually sit down, actually reason with yourself, analyze yourself, scan yourself, and say, am I actually Paul? Am I actually Charlotte Francis? And just really, you kind of figure out that name comes back to a label, which is just on you. You know what I mean? But so you're more than that. You know what I mean? In general, you probably know that, but it's just what people used to identify you, you know what I mean, as nicknames, but that's not who we are in general. That's what we said, you know, we're constantly like a tree, you know what I mean, we're growing roots every time. The tree grows different branches every time, builds and notes. So you are a tennis player at some point in your life, you know what I mean, and obviously that time was over. Your branches grow to become a dancer, and that was over now. You become a designer, and now you're going to become into some next phase in your life. So I think the whole point is actually, I just feel like, you know, we're just here to kind of discover something. You know, nobody really knows who they are. You know, what I mean, obviously we have a certain, you know, what I mean, we have a certain concept of who we are ourselves together. We have this thing. We have been. It's kind of like a false lie you put upon yourself all your life. Like, this is who I am, and the reason why you're like this is because the ego plays a role in this as well. When I strip you off your ego and everything, then who are you then as a person? That's the question people need to ask themselves to get it. So this is where I did some few stuff in my life, and this is where I become in connection with myself. I'm still, but this is why I'm like, yo, you're not Paul, you know? It's just your ego that makes you who you are, you know what I mean? Connect. But if I strip you off that ego, everything that you think, then who are you then? You know what I mean? And that's where the questions really
The life starts.
The life. That's where when you see some people,
you've opened the
you've
Pandora's
opened.
box.
You know what I mean?
Doesn't stop.
So, and I feel that's where, you know, people need to really start. You know, it's I won't say it's it's a spiritual journey. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean? It's more like that. But I think it's deeper than that spiritual thing. It's beyond that. You know? It's hard stuff.
And to bring it back, right? And I think even like the likes of the education system and the system that is in place now, because like, you know, you are told to major in something, and whatever you major in, that becomes, and generally that becomes you, and that becomes the life that you're gonna live for the rest of your life. Do you know what I mean? So like, and that which is okay, and again, you spend most of your life like, so you spend all this time in college doing that, and then now you're gonna see, like, that's what you're gonna do for the rest of your life. And a lot of people, that's the life they choose, with obviously subconsciously, you know what I mean? Because they've been putting that label on, and they don't know how to detach that label until the crisis comes. You know what I mean? And like, they're talking like anxiety and this and this. I know, like, I'm struggling, and I'm like, people talk about midlife crisis, but really it's because they haven't actually, like, they haven't been in charge of their life. You know what I mean? And like, like, obviously a different force, like maybe society has dictated what who they are, and they've accepted that, and then that becomes the next step. So I think that's why it's important, like the label situation, not to always, not to hold on to any labels, in a sense, because you kind of like a strong advocate of that, like, you know what I mean? You don't feel like,
unbeknown to myself.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I've never labelled myself, and now even more, I was never really actually given a label, to be honest with you, and it's only now I actually see, like, looking back, But I think the biggest thing, looking back on it, the biggest thing was, at one stage in my life, like, I thought, like, dance was just, teaching dance was the biggest thing. I could not imagine myself doing anything else. Anything else. And then that big life crisis came when this boy didn't text me back one day. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, oh shit, I got to Ibiza, I come back and he doesn't call me anymore. I'm like, my life is over. And that's when the questions, and that and a few when you get to a certain age, or like that. And then I just went off. And to know, right, to be in a part of your life, right, where you think you don't see anything else but what you're in right now. And then to know that this whole thing of Charlotte's Love was waiting for me. That's crazy. And I can only see that looking back. I could have never seen it because I was in a bad place, like, do you know what I mean? Like, really bad place,
That's what pushes you as well.
And it was what opens up,
Yeah.
like, do you know what I mean? And like 7 years later, I wouldn't have known how, like, here, the I don't know, the explosion, the effects that obviously Charlotte's Love has had on Dublin, even with the studio. Again, that's not me. I don't take credit for that. Do you know what I mean? Like, it was a more powerful force than I was. I don't say, oh yeah, I did all this and I did that and all. It just came to me. It just chose me to give, and I just gave it. Like, I just went with it. And they asked of me, I okay, right, come on, let's go. And I just did it. And then, like, again, as one thing fades, it's like some people take it as a fail. Where dancing, my classes were like, they weren't as strong as they used to be. It's like, what's happening here? Obviously Charlotte's Love was coming, do you know what I mean? And in order for something to come in, something has to make space for it. So I was like, I'm kind of quite easygoing, but I was like, it doesn't matter, like, this is falling apart. But it was falling apart just literally so Charlotte's Love would come. And then literally, like, of lately, everything else has fallen apart in my life now. So that something else can come, like I just left the studio or whatever, and there's something else there. I haven't got a clue what it is, but there's something else. And I can trust looking back on my tennis, because I was a tennis coach one time. And then I was a dance teacher. Do you know what I mean?
Did you study to be a tennis
Yeah.
Wow. So that was like,
it's the only study I've ever done in my life, actually.
So wow, does that you got actually study to be a tennis coach? Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. I was like, I left school. Didn't do very well in school. I was like, what am I good at? I can play tennis. Let's go. Like, learn how to become a tennis coach. So then I was that. And then like that, like, one day someone just said, can you teach a dance class? I'm like, yeah. And it just evolves. And before you know, you're a fully fledged dance teacher. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Amazing,
and then before you know, you're like, I hadn't got a clue how to dance. Do you know what I mean? Like, it was, I love music. I love dance. I'm obviously a good teacher at anything, to be honest. But
natural mover.
No, not natural mover. No, well, listen, I'm an Irish natural mover, okay? But like that's what happened. And then I'd never made a clothing item in my life. Like, hadn't got a clue. Never done photography, nothing, like, do you know what I mean? and you just do it, like, you know. 7 years later, I still cut in a bandy line. You know, do you know what I mean? Like with a scissor, it's the same way.
Yeah.
That's changing now. But it worked, and it worked because the love that was driven in it, actually. To be fair, and it was different. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know.
So what's the next step for you now?
The next step, okay, on Sunday I'm going to be there. A one-way ticket, ticket. Yeah, and that's it. Like, the next step is Charlotte Francis. Do you know what I mean? You know, because for once in my life, yeah, exactly. For once in my life, it's like I've never actually, like I said, the tennis just came, the dance just came, Charlotte's love just came. I never asked for any of it, and now I look back and I see it all. I see how it happened.
This shaped your life to become the person you were.
To become now. Here, let me tell you something for none. When I was a dance teacher, I made so much money. So much money as I thought back then. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, I could, whatever, buy loads of clothes, run amok the weekends, have a nice apartment, drive like flashy cars and all. And then I started Charlotte's Love. I made some money, and then life just took every fucking penny off me. Crashed my car, got a van, you know, like so much. So it's been like challenging, but that was the time when I found like the pure magic of life and like the pure happiness of life. Do you know what I mean? I lived the last, I don't know how long, with like no money, like, do you know what I mean? Like, you know, but life, like, yeah, like life. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. You know, really.
When life hits you, you understand what simplicity means.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And like, this is the thing, like, I just closed down the studio, which was an amazing space, but closed it down, didn't realise, like, I was there for 5 years. On Monday night, like, actually really tonight, because I moved there tonight, but like, the weight off my shoulder that I didn't even realise. I was like, I don't even have to, like, even coming here today, I was like, oh, what am I doing? I think I have to open the studio. No, I fucking don't. Do you know what I mean? I was like, no, I don't have to open any studio. I'm actually a free bird. And honestly, straight up, like, I booked it today. And I'm going one-way tickets to Ibiza to start whatever, wherever. And I tell you, I'm going on Ryanair, and they don't let you bring in any bags, and I didn't book a bag. I have a backpack, and that's all I'm going with.
A backpack?
A backpack.
That's it?
A backpack.
Wow.
And that's
crazy.
all I'm going
That's
with.
crazy.
And that's all I need. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, I don't need anything else. Do you know what I mean? The heavier the backpack, the heavier my journey. And that's it. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, I'll bring my little essentials and whatever. Do you know what I mean? I don't need anything like that. And that's what I've learned. Do you know what I mean?
We've been talking, right? And then we've been talking, like, you told me, like, you want to write a book, and you, like, more than one book, I suppose.
3. I'm writing 3 books at the
For
moment.
now,
At the moment.
So.
And what?
Do you want to just hint us about the book?
The books.
Charlotte's Love is going to be an author.
Wow.
That's the next step.
Don't label me, please. Please, don't label me. I'm just going to write some books.
You're going to write the books about,
Yeah, well, I'll give one. Okay, I'll talk about 3.
Okay.
I'll give a thing. So anyway, listen, like, again, like that, through life, through your path, through the people you meet, through the places, through the experiences, like, and then one day I'm going to write a book. And the first book that came through, they all happened actually within a week, right? It's pretty random. Is for teenagers, because right now teenagers, I feel, are so powerful. They've got this magic energy inside them, but the school system, the parenting, I'll say straight out, the social media just doesn't actually match with their potential. So I think it's a little bit crazy. So the book is, and teenagers are creating the next world for us, the next people to step in, you know, they're the next generation. Yeah, exactly. So it's just a conversation, bit of banter between me and them, actually just helping them basically, but then also telling them to freaking be responsible. Do you know what I mean? If you don't want to go to school, yeah, fair enough, but you just have to do some things that you don't want to do in life. Do you know what I mean? You know, you don't just like whatever potter around.
For the same
you know,
and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. Do you know what I mean? You know, then when I was kind of writing that a little bit, the next book came true, because I was doing loads of research, and I always kind of say, like, you know, do you know? It's called Do You Know? And I'm like, you know, do you know this fact or whatever? So I'll just tell you, you know, so you don't know this.
Wow.
I'll say like basically, do you know, is like a whole lot of, how long do we have? Do we have time? Do we?
I ain't got that much time, but yeah, 10 minutes. Try to get it out.
So basically, it's like, we live basically on like the physical, do you know what I mean? Like it's like, that's a phone. Yeah, I know that's a phone, but it's only because we were told that that's a phone. Yeah. So basically, again, we all have these powers inside us that we don't know exist, do you know what I mean? And we live quite on like, if something doesn't work out the first time, you know, it's a fail, you know. But for example, through my research, I found out like YouTube was for some dating site.
Yeah.
Before it was. You're the only person I've told that's heard that. Did I tell you that? No, did I?
I heard that was a dating site.
It's a dating site, you know. And then through like when Janet Jackson, when Justin Timberlake pulled Janet Jackson's top off, they couldn't find that on the internet. So they created YouTube, a space where they could find everything. So it's like, you know, again, like that, looking back, you can only look back. You know, when you're in a situation, it's like, oh, we failed, you know, whatever. So it's just a book, basically, a small book. It's not long, none of my books are going to be long, just like short and small. And you can pop in and out of them at any time, do you know what I mean? Like, you know. So that's that book. And then the third book came true, they all came true. And actually, when I was writing that book, I say I'm writing them. I have written the chapters and a few little bits and pieces, but they have to, like, and I've been kind of writing them in my head like that. There's no structure, there's no one way of sitting down writing a book. That doesn't work for me in any way. Yeah, it just kind of comes through conversations and all.
It's true.
But what was my point there? About I was sitting in Starbucks actually, and as I was writing, a research, I actually went, oh my God, Charlotte, you're writing a book. So I didn't even believe in my own
But
self.
you didn't think you were writing a book.
Do you know what I mean? You don't because you don't think it. It's like, again, your program mind goes, I was a tennis coach, dance teacher, I'm Charlotte's love. So you don't think, can I be out there? Which is my challenge, which is, can I actually get these 3 books out in paper, physical, and hand it to you and sell them and inspire people?
I think you can do that.
I know I
have
can
no
do it.
doubt that you can do that.
I say you definitely can do it. You can do it.
You know.
I mean, there's no, the only limitation you place yourself is putting yourself. So I didn't even know you were writing books in the first place, and I'm hearing it.
Exclusive, man. Exclusive.
The question I want to know is, how long you think it's gonna take for this book to be published? Is it the next 1 year, 2 years, 3 years? Just to let people know.
God, a clue. So, do you know what? In fairness, though, no, because I am going away on Sunday, and this is now like a new journey. So as soon as they're ready to come true, like that's what I'll be working on. But as soon as they're ready to come true, they'll just come true. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know.
I think though, you make a great point. I think writing the book for me, we said something nice. I think it's all about person as well. And these challenges, this is actually will help. Probably make you, pull even more. Like you said, you never actually thought you were writing a book.
Never.
Now this is probably even going to help even. God knows what you're going to be writing next. So I look forward to this book.
But you know, right? We all have a book inside us.
That's
the thing.
true.
I'm not no special person. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but we don't open up the space, and that's why, like, I know I need to travel. Like, it's again, you just get this feeling where you just get called to travel. And it's like, because here there is no space sometimes unless you create it. Do you know what I mean? So like when you travel, not running away or anything, but when you travel then, or even when you are wherever you are, it's so important to like create that space within your mindset for these things to actually come true, for the new things to come true. Do you know what I mean? Because again, like I said, like, Charlotte's love couldn't come true unless the dancing went. Do you know what I mean? Like it literally just like this. Do you know what I mean? Like literally, and like that's what I said. Like I said it the other day about the studio as well. Like closing that, like I wasn't passionate about that anymore. It just didn't feel me no more.
Yeah.
So I left it. But then, like another person came through and it was their dream come true, having that space, you know, that type of way. Like, so she's ready for that, and that was ready for her, and there's going to be magic there. Do you know what I mean? So it's just about like clearing out that space and then welcoming whatever.
For something new to take over.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I don't know if we still push for time, but we think, you know, we still got time to keep going.
Yeah, let's talk.
All right.
So we just talked about quickly, brief on social media, because I know it's such a big, like especially with your book that you're writing, it's such a big thing within this generation, and like it's there's a lot of like obviously bullies going on, like people can't take their face off the phone, and for us we know how to make that shift, because like we weren't born in this, like we're not from this generation, and like for them, like it's like there's no studies done like with the impact of, obviously there are studies, you can see the physical, like you can see the problem that is created within their generation, but they are the first group of people going through this kind of switch in, like, you know, this technological switch, you know, and like I don't think even the parents know how to deal with it, and nobody knows how to deal with it, and they left to like figure it out themselves, you know what I mean? But like how do we go about it? Do you know what I mean? Like
it's very interesting topic, you know, when it comes to social media, because it's not, bro. Like I said to people now, we live in a matrix world, you know what I mean? The world we live in is a matrix, it's just social media, you know? Everywhere you go is technology. So I didn't grow up in a era of technology, but I'm in the era now. So obviously I need to adapt to this new change. So as my parents. I don't know, I was born in the 50s or 60s or something. No social media and nothing. But now she's on Facebook. My mom opening IG, and mama, why you opening Instagram?
She's sliding into your DM.
You know, who the hell you sliding into? Who's sliding? I mean, I'm trying to explain, you don't need this. And then you start putting like, yo, what's Snapchat, you know? Shit, what's this, you know? So I feel like the social media, I think it's good and also it's bad, you know what I mean? It's both kind of like, you know what I mean? So, you know, for the new generation, obviously you're having kids where all they do is wake up in the morning. It's kind of like reprogramming their mind, their brain, you know. Like when we were growing up, we used to think about, oh, we ball, we go outside, we play, we find things to keep our mind busy. We don't need phones, we don't need games, we don't need TV. Which nowadays we have kids now, they can't even focus. You know what I mean? They're playing.
But that's a parent's thing.
Huh?
I think that's a parent's thing. I think it's a parent's thing, giving them that to shut them up.
Shut them up. A lot of it is.
It's like, watch that.
Yeah.
Watch that.
A lot of it is the parents. We could say parents, you know, like, but at the same time, the parent also have they have their own addiction as well. So it's kind of like
well, on social media, I think everybody is a victim of.
Everybody's a victim, even but it's how you play your role with it. You know what I mean? So because if you have a kid and your kid, every kid has a desire. You become mother someday, and you're, mom, I want that new Xbox. I want that new stuff. You know what I mean? As a parent, our job is to provide for the kids. You know, you want to get them that new game. You want to get them that. You know, make them feel hard, you know, play the role as well. So, but also there's a where you can control it. You know what I mean? Like the amount of time you spend on games, the amount of time you spend on the phone. I personally wouldn't buy it. I've seen kids 12, 10 carrying an iPhone, what, 600 euros? Eight, 9. I'm like, yo, what in the hell is this? What are these kids doing? This is too much.
Yeah, but I think at the same time as well, I think like people need to understand, like, people, like, you know, saying no to kids is important for them, because they're gonna tell them no so many times in life. Like, what happens if like she doesn't work? Like that when they grow up, like life is gonna hit them hard. You know what I mean? And they're gonna tell them like, yo, Like if that doesn't work, you know what I mean? What do you do? Like they have to go through that, and you have to prepare them for life.
So you think they know is the problem with some
Like,
parents?
but they have to earn it. What does a kid deserve to like fucking get like iPhone 8?
No, I definitely
Do you know
don't.
what I mean?
I don't believe.
So, but
Yeah.
it's like you saying up for on unrealistic one, to be honest with you. So like, but if you're giving them everything and they think like that's what life is, like my friend, you're gonna be in for a big surprise. You know what I mean? After school, when you graduate.
It's crazy because I always feel like of the system called, or some parents go, oh, sure, I never had that when I was growing up. So I want to give my kids this so they can have that. Because I never had a phone, so now I'm working. You know what I mean? It's okay. There's nothing wrong genuinely buying good things for your kids. You know what I mean? But I think the problem with our parents is everybody's different. Is you need to let your kids know. You having this thing, I'm not buying it for you because I'm buying it for you. You need to teach them, like disciplines. Like, okay, cool. My mom buys me something now. She comes to me, go, I'm getting you this stuff because of this and that and that. She lets me know the struggles. You know what I mean? You let your kid know what it takes to get that. You know what I mean? You teach. So I think the problem is what you said about saying no to kids. You know what I mean? Some people find it hard to say, listen, I can't tell them no. But I think at some point we need to learn to teach this kid. Obviously the kids, they don't know better. They're still naive. But they're going to go turn 16, 17 when they're going to get to the real world. So as a parent, I think we need to put that into them. So when they get older, they can deal with life easily. So when you give kids this and that and this, when they get older, they be on their own. That's when they're like this. Mama always give me that. Papa always give me that. Now I'm in this real world now when she graduates you and you don't know because you're so used to getting what you want. Now you're like, I'm not with mom, I'm not with dad.
I trust mama showed it.
You know what I mean? Reality doesn't hit. So that's the thing. So we have to teach our kids, I think discipline. Obviously show love. My mom always said, look, African home, you know how we are, they show love, but there's discipline behind that love. But if we just don't give love and say, yo, take that, you do something, they're gonna rub you in the head. No, man, when I was growing up, I do something with my dad, I would whoop my ass. I would beat the living hell. Not saying beat the hell out to the point like I can't breathe, but it will whoop me, belt me, and it will make me understand what I did was wrong. But now I look back at it, did that make me feel bad? I hate him? No, I don't hate him. You get it? I was there, that's how he knows how to. And that made me the person I was. Rather than as a kid, these days, this is the problem with generations now. Technology, social media. It's like if the kid does something bad, you can't give out to them. You can't smack your kid, you can't talk to your kid because you feel social media, people have their own self-opinion about how to raise your own kid. I'm the one who's going through the pain. I'm the one paying this bill. I'm the one raising this kid, not you. So why should other people's opinion count on how you raise your kid? Get it? So I think people need to understand, like, raising a kid is just not bringing up a kid and just giving them what they want. That comes, what they need to get back. You as a parent, you're giving them something. Your job is to do as I'm telling you. You get it? You respect, discipline, stuff like that. That's how I grew up, not just.
I suppose, think about it, like, it's going to instill some certain discipline in them growing up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When like, obviously, a big problem these days, I think, is lazy parenting. Yeah. When you just give people kids to shut them up, and then the kids are intuitive. You know what I mean? Yeah. They know your routine. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You don't know your routine. They know your routine more than you know your routine. So they know, like, when you're like more relaxed and they know when to go into the game. They know all of this. So, and if you don't have discipline, how would you instill that into them? Do you know what I mean? So it's like.
Yeah, the discipline yourself. Yeah.
So I think we're gonna probably wrap this up quick now because we're gonna leave this for another day.
Yeah.
So thank you, Chalottes, for coming through.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it as always.
And all the best in Ibiza.
Yeah.
All the best.
And I don't expect anything more than excellence.
That's standard. That's standard now. That's the habits, though. That's
raising the bars out here.
The change of habits, you know what I mean?
Just embrace the new change. That's the way it is, man. It's very weird at the start, but that's the whole point of life. It's changes. Embrace it. All the best.
That's just
huh?
the way it is.
That's how we grow.
Things gonna be
And you know.
But do check out Boogie Beast.
Oh,
Because it is
yeah.
a powerful program. It's a very,
shit.
very powerful program.
We're gonna get
Thank you so
started.
much.
Our movement, lifestyles,
That's what we do, man. That's what we do. This
I
is the
will
beginning.
live and prove.
We only getting started, so
Thank you so much.
I appreciate.
You already know it's the Boogie Beast Mind Body Food Podcast, episode 5. Thank you very much, Shala. Co-host, as always, Mr. Paul Easy, aka Mental Focus. Check him out on Instagram. Check out Boogie Beast IG page. Check out the website as well. Everything is Boogie Beast. Boogie Beast Fitness on IG. BoogieBeast.com. Facebook. Check out Chalottes Law on IG.
Check out Shannon Francis.
Charlotte Francis.
Shannon Francis.
Charlotte Francis. Yeah. And yeah, check out Charlotte's Law as well. You know what I mean?
It's all the same.
It's all the same. So
It's not the same.
It's all mine.
She's just not listening to me. That has been like an hour. It's not the same.
There's two concepts.
No,
in one.
it's
There's
not
two
the
concepts
same.
in one.
you're a tree
It's a
of
tree.
different
The branches.
It's a tree.
So
Yeah.
Charlotte's Law.
Jeez.
Challenge Francis.
You are like the mind and the body together.
So love is just one of the connection that Chalotte Francis just
You know what I mean?
You
So-
get the point though.
I am until next time, y'all. Thank you very much. Peace, love.
I'm out.
Love always.
I'm
Boom.
out.